Imagine a world where everyone has a basic income, no strings attached. Intriguing, isn't it? It's called Universal Basic Income, or UBI for short. Picture a society where every individual, regardless of their status or employment, receives a periodic payment. This isn't a reward, a bonus, or a handout, it's a right. There's no means test to pass, no work requirement to fulfill, just a guaranteed income to ensure everyone's basic needs are met. Now, this might sound like a utopian dream, or perhaps it raises a few alarm bells. Free money for everyone. Could such a system really work, and more importantly, should it? But is universal basic income a silver bullet solution to economic inequality, or could it lead to a societal dependency on handouts? Let's delve deeper. And so, our journey into the world of UBI begins. First, let's explore the potential benefits of universal basic income. Imagine a world where poverty is a thing of the past. This isn't a utopian fantasy, but a potential reality with universal basic income, or UBI. By providing all citizens with a guaranteed income, regardless of their employment status, UBI could significantly reduce, if not eliminate, poverty. But the benefits of UBI don't stop at poverty reduction. It's about more than just money. It's about providing financial security. Think of it as a safety net, catching those who might otherwise fall through the cracks of our economic system. No more choosing between rent and groceries or between medication and electricity. This financial security can lead to a significant reduction in stress, which in turn can lead to improved mental health. When people aren't constantly worried about making ends meet, they have the mental space to think, to dream, to innovate. This is another potential benefit of UBI, promoting entrepreneurship and innovation. Instead of being tied to a job just to pay the bills, people could pursue their passions, start their own businesses, or invent the next big thing. And with the rise of automation threatening many traditional jobs, this kind of entrepreneurial spirit will be more important than ever. Moreover, UBI also addresses the issue of income inequality by providing everyone with a basic level of financial support. It's a step towards creating a more equitable society where everyone has a fair chance to thrive and succeed. But as with any complex issue, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The implementation of UBI brings its own set of challenges and potential drawbacks. So while it's tempting to get swept up in the promise of UBI, it's important to consider all aspects. So it seems like UBI could be a game changer, right? But hold on, every coin has two sides. Now let's turn the coin and look at the potential drawbacks of a universal basic income. One of the most discussed disadvantages of UBI is its economic feasibility. Implementing such a program on a large scale would require massive amounts of funding. Where would this money come from? Increased taxes, government borrowing, printing more money? Each of these options carries its own set of problems and could potentially destabilize the economy. Another concern is the risk of inflation. If everyone suddenly has more money to spend, demand for goods and services could spike, driving up prices. This could erode the purchasing power of the UBI, making it less effective in combating poverty and inequality. Then there's the question of how people might use or misuse the money. Critics argue that without any strings attached, some individuals might spend their UBI on non-essential items or even harmful substances instead of using it to improve their living conditions or invest in their future. However, it's worth noting that this argument is based on assumptions and stereotypes rather than solid evidence. Perhaps one of the most significant concerns is the risk of discouraging work and creating dependency. If people receive a guaranteed income, regardless of whether they work or not, could this discourage them from seeking employment or striving for advancement? This could lead to a decrease in productivity and innovation, which are key drivers of economic growth. Critics also worry that UBI could undermine existing social welfare programs. If the funds for UBI were to come from the budgets of these programs, it could leave vulnerable populations without the specialized support they currently receive. Lastly, there's the issue of fairness. Is it just to give the same amount of money to everyone, regardless of their needs or contributions to society? This is a philosophical question as much as it is an economic one, and opinions on it vary widely. Clearly, universal basic income is not without its potential pitfalls. So where does this leave us then? Is UBI a dream come true or a potential nightmare? As we've seen, UBI, or Universal Basic Income, comes with a mixed bag of potential outcomes. On one hand, it promises poverty reduction, giving everyone a safety net to fall back on. It could stimulate economic activity and offer individuals the freedom to pursue their passions without the fear of financial insecurity. On the other hand, questions about economic feasibility, the risk of inflation, and the potential for creating a dependency culture are hard to ignore. Could we fund such an ambitious scheme without causing significant economic upheaval? Would it encourage complacency, or would it inspire creativity and innovation? These are complex issues with no clear-cut answers. What's clear is that the concept of UBI pushes us to reconsider our societal values and the very nature of work and income. Ultimately, the question of whether UBI is a solution to economic inequality or a path to dependency is one that requires careful thought and consideration. Now that you've heard both sides of the story, it's your turn to weigh in. It's essential to continue this conversation about universal basic income, not just in theoretical terms, but in the context of our own lives, our communities, and our societies. How would UBI impact your life? Would it alleviate financial stress or encourage complacency? How might it transform your community? Would it help reduce poverty or just redistribute wealth without solving the underlying issues? Consider the economic feasibility. Can our governments sustain such a program without plunging into debt or causing inflation? These are all questions that demand thoughtful consideration. Continue to learn, to question, and to engage in dialogues about UBI. It's not about finding a perfect solution, but about exploring possibilities and understanding potential consequences. Remember, the future of our society could very well hinge on the decisions we make today, so stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, make your voice heard.